Lovely people! Here is another episode of MissHellbreaker in Normieland, where I share some news that you might have not seen before, because my sources are from like Telegram and TikTok and from research, and it doesn't come from the mainstream media. Still, I would always advise discernment because I want you to do the research yourself. And it's all for entertainment purposes. Only you don't have to believe me. I lots of times give different perspectives, so you can figure out yourself which one resonates with you, and maybe you want to look further. And but I'll just give you the things that I found out. So because there's so many things happening, I felt like making another episode. So there was huge things happening in worldwide. There's huge things happening because the Pope died, and yeah, that was a big thing. And Klaus Schwab went away of the World Economic Forum in the same weekend. You have days that nothing happening, and then you have days that lots of things happening at the same time. Wow, these were two really huge things. So yeah, some truthers think that the Pope was already died a long time ago, because they're all getting exposed for the evilness that they were doing, and the Pope was the head of the biggest evil organization on this planet, because it has nothing to do with the church. And so that is coming out. So a lot of people already knew that he died. And so we were like, oh, we've been waiting for years already. When does this come? And it was the same with the Queen. A lot of people thought that she already died, and oh, finally now it's happening. So because also a lot of people think that he was already being played by actors, like everybody on the world stage right now. And people thought that the Pope was like Jonathan Pryce. So, and also because a lot of times it's a complete CGI, the videos that people shared about the Pope the last times, people was clear CGI. So a lot of people, they thought that the Pope was already gone. And lo and behold, they have a new Pope. It's an American person. And it's the first American Pope, apparently. And there's an interesting video on TikTok from the flat earther, the fittest flat earther on there. And he already figured out who the new actor is who is playing him. So that's interesting. Yeah, I would say go to the fittest flat earther, but I will also have the link underneath here. But he has really interesting videos anyway. So he really connects the dots of who is playing who, and also that they're played by actors. But also it's one big stage, this whole reality. And there's a lot of actors that fake their death, have different roles, or one actor has different roles at the same time. You never know if the people are real or not. And there's also a lot of people thinking Hollywood is all CGI the last years already. So because a lot of people been taken care of. I hope so, but we didn't see anything yet. We are waiting for the real stuff to come out. So bring it on, please. About evilness in Hollywood and everything in this reality. There's lots, it has many layers, and I hope you find out all of them. There was also power outage in Portugal, pieces of Portugal, Spain, France, and Italy. So and it was really long time. And they tried to say in the Dutch television, I come from Holland, so in the Dutch television, they tried to tell that it had something to do with climate change and air bubbles and the temperature change, and then it went out. If you really think that's just because of a temperature change that whole countries don't have have no power anymore, then yeah, that is like it is all planned. It is staged. They have that already in the plans, but it's also to make people aware that this can happen. So make sure that you're always like prepared for like anything. Yeah, so and there's a lot of times that whole countries have power outages already several times all over the world. So know that it can happen anytime, everywhere. But that thing on the news, it was like, I was watching it, it was so cringe. Can anybody still believe that? But yeah, you're like here because you are more open to other perspectives out there and things happening. So welcome. In America, there is another really good news is that they're like banning food dyes. So on one hand, it's of course good that they're banning food dyes, but on the other hand, people are now finally waking up that they were poisoning you already for many years with all the food dyes that are poisonous. So they give you the bad food, so you get sick, and you have to go to Big Pharma, and then you get the pills. It's like it's a system perpetuating, making money for them. So that is also happening. More and more information is coming out how much they put in the foods. The awareness is growing. People want to know. People are finally checking the ingredients, and yeah, I share about that already many years about what's actually in the food and how you can eat healthier. So you can, yeah, you can find also more videos about that also. So that is really something good. And there's a video on my Rumble channel of someone saying which food dyes they're like gonna ban right now and which food bans are gonna come like maybe next year. He said end of next year. No, you can take matters into your own hand, see which food dyes he's talking about, and also already choose things that those things are not in there. And I will also here put a link into my Facebook with a post that says which are GMO products in your food and which are products that is also toxic. So you can check that. And so that's like it's like you don't have to wait till they make sure that it's out. No, you can already make sure that you and your family is eating more healthier. And in lots of states in America, they're banning now chemtrails. And in Florida, actually, they had law come into place for that's banning chemtrails. But not only that, you can also call them when you see them, because the people then get fined that are doing that, or jail time, because these people, these pilots up there are poisoning everybody. So it's time more information comes out from that. I will also put in a link here from a very amazing woman that tested the air and the ground and actually went up to one of those chemtrail pilots to tell him what is happening. So I found her on Substack, and I will post, if I find it, I will post a link here as well. And then you can see what she's doing. So in my eyes, she's a true hero, and we should all tell these people to stop poisoning us. Huh? And what they're also doing in Florida is stopping the fluoride in the water. That is also really good news. But on the other hand, it's also for people that are aware, it's like people finding out now they got poisoned already for many, many years. So on one hand, it's really good news because now the awareness coming up that it affects people's IQ and health, especially young children, it can affect their health. And it's also, anyway, also not good in the toothpaste. So make sure you go to a health food store to get toothpaste without fluoride. because it calcifies your pineal gland and it makes you more like obedient and not seeing what's actually happening in this reality. So if you stop that, then you will understand more probably of what I'm saying. And I'm not the only one, a lot of people are saying this. And there's also, in the UK came out, UK said that the government was doing trials or like wanting to stop, they wanted to block the sun. And the project was even called Satan, Satan. It's like, how much more obvious can they make it? But people in the UK, you need to realize that your sun is being blocked already for many years. UK, Germany, Holland, all of us in the north. A lot of people don't see much sun anymore. And it's like, because they're blocking that already with the chemtrails. There's, when I was in Holland, lots and lots of chemtrails. But also in the beginning in Spain and Portugal, they didn't have much chemtrails, but they have there also more and more chemtrails. So while America is like waking up and stopping it and having legislation to stop it, while other countries, if you say something about it, people say, you're a conspiracy theorist. They invented that word just for people that figure out the truth. To compromise them and say, look, yeah, these are crazy people. No, it's like actual people that research and know what's happening. So, and of course, we don't know everything what's happening, but some things we do know and we share about it. And it's up to you to research and find out yourself. Not only for you, but also your children. And that's what we are doing it for. We're doing it also for you and your children, even if you don't even know it. So, yeah, you're very welcome. And there's another really big thing that came out was Tucker Carlson was talking with a woman, and she was telling that all the elites made dumps. They have underground tunnels, and they call it dumps, deep underground military basements. And she was talking about that because like they missed or lost $21 trillion to make those, and they have them everywhere in the whole world. And there's a guy called Gene Decode is talking about these dumps already for many years. So you find that on Rumble. And she was talking about that on Tucker Carlson. So that means that this information is coming out now more because he has millions of followers. So finally more is coming out in the open. So that is also a huge thing because there was always like for years, nobody was talking about it. Well, we know that they do a lot of things underneath in these tunnels. Like they have labs and they have whole cities and they have like doing experiments on people, and more is coming out about the atrocities against humanity. So it's horrendous, and you can't fathom the evil, but more will be coming out. And yeah, the one thing that also already came out, and it was in France, there was a school where like elite children go to, and it was also a child of a former president of France, was how do you call it? I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but she was abused, and that's a whole scandal going on in France. But that is something that not only happens in they happen everywhere around the world, and it's an agenda, and children are victims of this. So all children that went out of their houses, also in the past, all the indigenous children all over the world that they took away in homes, on Catholic schools. that's like, that will be coming out as well. Like so many. And the Catholic Church, a lot of times when a priest got caught, they just put them somewhere else and they pay off the victims. That's why they have billions and billions of hush money paid. And it's an agenda, and we need to bring awareness to that agenda. So in France, there's a big thing going on. And in the Netherlands, they said they had the thing of, they shared about on the news about the reason of the power outages that was like laughable already. But there's even something more laughable happening in Holland, where they're saying now that hobby chickens, like chickens for like everybody that has them in their own garden, are not good because they have certain chemicals, and the grocery chickens and the eggs don't have that. And it's the most laughable thing I ever saw, because most people know, like, when you have your own chicken, you know what they're eating and you can give them like good food. And it's actually more healthier because you don't know what the chicken are eating from the eggs that you get at the grocery store. And in Holland, they also started to vaccinate the chickens. So you have to make sure that you don't have vaccinated eggs. So that's why they say this now, because they want everybody to go to the grocery store and get the grocery store eggs. So I would advise you to go to your local farmer and get some eggs there. And also make sure that they're not vaccinated, of course. And but it's also up to you. Huh? And but know that what they're saying is not always true. Mainstream media, because they're like, there's an agenda behind it. There's an agenda why the whole world is saying the same things, and they're being financed by people that are not always have the right intention for the people and humanity in general. Then there was in Canada a new prime minister, and yeah, of course, it's new deep state puppet. He was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the woman who was a handler from Epstein and involved in the child sex trafficking. So he's another puppet, but yeah, who knows if he is still the real one or if he's already also replaced by an actor. Because a lot of the people in the world stage are, this is believed, is alleged, all for entertainment purposes only. And anyway, it's one big circus sideshow. This whole reality is like crazy, and we need to know that it is fake. So on one hand, I want you to know these, but on the other hand, I want you also to put it aside and do your own thing, what you need to do. But may it help with any awareness that if you know it, you can make certain choices. So my heart goes out to all the people in Canada, because they are like especially very targeted the last years. And yeah, I just want all countries to be free, and more freedom is coming. There's more freedom in America, there's more freedom in El Salvador, there's more freedom. Burkina Faso, the president there is saying some good things, kicking all the French out of this country, because they were like still colonizing countries. The West was still colonizing other countries. Like they're like, I heard like there were like factories where they make like money in Africa, and half of it they needed to give to the French government, like all the money that we're making, all the profit, like half of it already. So these were still, and more African countries is kicking out the colonizers, mostly France. And that is what's happening also with England. They also try to colonize so many countries, and more and more countries also, want to be not sovereign nations. So there's a big shift happening in this world, and we're on the cusp of it. So it will get better, but at this moment it's still very chaotic, and a lot of things happening, because even now in India and Pakistan, that was also, there were bombing, but it was not clear yet. Like some people say like they were bombing each other, and other people saying like it's the defense mechanism went off. But they're already doing that also for many years, and it's all to like instill fear in people, and people are very fearful. But I myself, I don't believe that there are nuclear weapons, and I also don't believe that they're gonna put that on us, because they also lied to us about this. They have certain weapons, and they're like being installed against people, and that is also clear. Like they have that, and they did that in Hawaii. They do that with all the fires and the earthquakes and the tsunamis. They have like weaponized machinery to instill fear in the people, but also to make certain countries do what they want to do. But their power is going down, and more people seeing through the veil. It's like the age of Aquarius. It's the great awakening, and we are on the cusp of it. And I share already many years about it, and I'm glad that people finally are listening and understanding what I'm saying. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this shift, because anybody who's watching this, you are part of this shift. And some people say everything's gonna happen, everything, everywhere, all at once, like a movie. And we're gonna be hopefully seeing that soon. There's a lot of people waiting for this for many years already. I thought it was gonna come in 2020, and I think it's gonna be here very soon. But that's also something that's just what I feel. But the more you are, you will feel it. At one point, it will be undeniable for everybody. And also, I want you to know all these things, but don't sweat about it too much. Just know and see what you can control, what you can focus on, what you want to know in your reality. What are the things that you can focus on, and like have faith and believe in the good things coming for humanity as a whole. And some people say like this is really going really bad. No, we were doing already very bad, but people were not aware of it because there was a veil over this reality. People couldn't see what they were doing. But this whole realm was for a long time operated by some really evil beings. And on one hand, you can say, of course, like, yeah, we gave them, some people say like, yeah, we gave them the authority. Yeah, but on the other hand, it's now time to take our power back and to share about this and to clean up. We need to start the big cleanup needs to start. We're not waiting for them to start things anymore. We have to start our own things and really start seeing like how if all of certain things were not there anymore, and you can do what you want, what would you want to do, and how do you want your life to be? Start dreaming of a different reality, and let's all co-create it together, where we can really live a different life that's more free and more prosperous, where everybody has peace and where everybody has a place to live and has ample money to do what they want to do, and live their life in freedom and love and peace. And I hope it's coming soon for everybody. That's manifesting. It's already here. It's here in the present time. So I wish everybody lots of peace, lots of love, and lots of truth. And also, yeah, do your own research, find out what is what. All the links are here. I put quite some links of videos. I put on my own Rumble channel, so because I want people to see those. So I put quite some links here as well. And yeah, follow me here and on my Rumble channel and to find things out. Here I post mostly videos of myself, and on my Rumble I also post videos that I find on other places. So yes, thank you for listening and wishing you all the best. Bye bye.